Hello friends, thanks for joining me. This is Beatrice with Planning and Memory Keeping, and today we are working on week 2 of Project Life for 2025. I am using simple stories for the record and adding some pictures from my phone because that's what I use to take pictures. It's my iPhone, and basically these were printed on my HP. I think it's one of those office something. I'm not sure, but I use 8.5 by 11 matte matte photo paper. It's the Canon brand, and I mean it's working out. The pictures look good, right? They're the right color, and this is going to be the layout. It's a little photo heavy, and actually I left some pictures out, but I was happy that I was able to get a bunch of the stories onto my layout. I'm also pulling out some labels from L Studio, and those wooden circles are from old Ali Edwards collections. So to begin, the top picture is from the first snowstorm of 2025, and that's my son shoveling the snow. The second picture, I was messing around with my graphing calculator and trying to figure out how to use it properly. I'm currently making a journaling card using one of the stickers from the sticker book and just a 3x4 piece of white cardstock. I wanted to tie in all the colors because I wanted to use that January card up on the top for some of my journaling, as well as that the card that's on the top left for my the days of that this week pertain to. So I'm adding some of these word or phrase stickers, strips, and they are in the Simple Stories sticker book. And some of them just say things like happy heart, what else, happy day, for the record, that kind of thing. And I thought that layering the currently on top of the wooden circle looked really cute. So going back to what is on these pictures, after the calculator you see a Dunkin' cup with my iPad, and this is what I consider a perfect morning, having my coffee and being able to catch up on my YouTube watching. The third picture is from the same day, I believe, as the top picture, and it's my grandson's in the snow. The younger one, it's his first time in snow. He's never, he's not even a year old at this point. And my older grandson, who will be 4 this year, this is the second time he's been in snow. We live in New Jersey, and there hasn't been large amounts of snow where we live. We live more, I live more in the central part of Jersey, and my daughter lives in South Jersey. And yeah, so it hasn't been very snowy. So here I'm going through the elements pack, and they have a ton of stuff. So I'm just kind of going through it and trying to figure out what is on here. I see that there's a lot of numbers, like 1 through 12, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to use 1 through 12 for. So we'll figure that out eventually. The picture on the left is of my son and my grandson. My son was playing with him and carrying him around. And then the last picture on the left-hand page is my grandson watching his iPad. I'm pulling out some Doodlebug little elements epoxy elements to add to my pictures and add to, to the page to give it a little more color, and it also gives it a little texture because they're raised. So I was just trying to figure out if I wanted hearts or if I wanted stars. And I also found these, and I think these are from Craft Consortium. They're like these bluish, purplish color stones, and they went really well with the blue on this page, so like the January. It's like a bluish, purplish, gray color. And then on the top right, I have the January, which will be we'll talk about a story about, oh, that was not good English. I will be telling the story of that Barney card and that little dress that you see in the second row. Both of these pictures, these items are over 20 years old, and my cousin in Cuba sent me the pictures. They were things that I brought to them over 20 years ago on one of my first trips to Cuba, and they still have them. That Barney has been played with by multiple generations, and that dress was also worn by multiple generations. So it's very cool that they still have those items. And I mean, I can honestly say I have nothing that was 20 years old. So it was very cool that they had something like that. So now I'm just looking at through my date stamp, and I'm trying to get my dates together so I can stamp them out. And here's where I'm trying to figure out what dates they are. And if you're new here, thanks for watching. If this is, you've been here before, thanks for coming back. I truly appreciate you. If you would consider subscribing and perhaps liking this video, I would totally appreciate that. I apologize that I haven't been able to add any videos. I was sick for over 3 weeks. Finally, I see, a resemblance of feeling better, and I was able to do this voiceover. So here is the dates, January 6th through January 12th. I added a little gem in between, and now I am just going to continue adding different little pieces to build up my my layout. And I'm using I think this is a Majan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, fountain pen, and I just have black ink, and I do not remember the brand of the black ink. So as I'm adding my pictures, I finally ordered my albums from scrapbook.com as well as my page protectors. So I finally have everything together and ready to go, and I'm super excited about that. So at this point, I am just looking for labels that'll match, and I found these older labels. Oh no, these actually were from the sticker book. They match perfectly, and I figured, you know what, we're using them. So I'm writing Duncan and YouTube best combo. There you go. That's going to be the third picture, and I'm also going to add a couple little red pieces of enamel. And as I continue through here, I've actually received my first Ali Edwards kit. I decided that I needed a little bit more variety, so I did join the Ali Edwards Stories by the Month kit. But I don't start that until March, so I will have to continue working for the next, for January and February with what I have, and then in March, I will be able to transition and include some Ali Edwards product as well. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing. And I also got a couple story kits that I will be also including in my Project Life albums. Definitely being sick the last 3 weeks was not expected. It was the craziest thing. I had a sinus, I had a cold. That cold turned into a sinus infection. And then that sinus infection turned into an ear infection. And then to just, top it all off, I also got shingles. So it was like anything else, like really, I don't have any more like anything else left in me. Please stop taking whatever energy I have. So here we're just adding some more enamels, and I am having to cut down the pictures because I printed them at 3x4, and for whatever reason these pockets are a tiny bit smaller than 3x4. So here's where I'm just going to create my little it's going to be a 3x4 card out of those two. I'm sorry, I'm creating a 4x6 card out of 3x4 cards. And I will use the journaling card more like a bullet list, so that I can just tell all the stories of the week. So I'm just trying to figure out what else I can add that is not just the hearts. I had these little red plus signs, as well as the teal ones. They're from El Studio. And here's where I'm just trying to figure out, okay, where are these going to go? But I'm putting them aside because I'm going to start working on the right side. So on the right side, you have my grandson, and I just love his little face. And he was probably watching YouTube or something. And that was the top right picture. Then I mentioned Barney and the dress. Those are pictures that my cousin sent me. And then the next picture is my grandson eating ice cream and giving me his Halloween eyes. And by Halloween eyes is what he calls when he kind of like rolls his eyes up and he's like looking at you, that creepy look. And he thinks it's funny and calls them Halloween eyes. And I'll just continue adding some of these little stickers. And then we go down to this last 4x6 picture. And this picture shows a current package that was being shipped to my family in Cuba. My cousin lives in South Florida, and it makes it very easy for him to be able to send packages that we all contribute to, and and they get shipped to my family. And it had been a while since they've received any packages. So actually, this was the second package. Week 1, we had sent the first package. And at this point, they had not received, I don't think they have received any of the packages yet. And in the last picture, that is my grandson taking up the entire king-size bed. This is at my house. He loves sleeping over. And usually this kid is not even 30 pounds, but he will lay in the middle of the bed, arms spread open, and will leave me in the little corner of the bed. Because then, of course, the dogs have to sleep with us. So they take up the other half of the bed. So it's very interesting, trying to sleep with a 3-year-old, because somehow at the end of the night he ends up across and his feet are usually in my face. But that's, whatever. I'm a happy grandma. I love when he sleeps over. So now I'm just adding a couple little gems here and there, and then we are going to start working on some of the journaling, which I am just going to add some background music. And at this point, let the rest of this page come together. So now I'm getting ready to write on my journaling card, and I'm just going to journal a little bit about Barney and the dress. And this is what I wrote. Barney and the dress are pictures that Monica sent me from Cuba. Both items made it on the island over 20 years ago during one of my visits or trips, not visits, trips. It has been worn by at least 6 little girls, and Barney has been played with by many. I can't believe they are both still around. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because, they're so old. I never would have expected her to be holding on to them. And she says that she has more toys of things that I took her when she was little. She's now 34. And I think the last time I saw her, she was about 9 or 10 years old. So I added the for the record sticker, and now I'm just adding some of these little gems on it just to give it a little more interest. And then we're going to start working on the 3x4 card that I made. Now I'm just looking for something. I'm counting how many stories I have to tell. And I am going to add these little gems to make them my, like my bullet points. And it also works well because it brings some of that bluish color down to the bottom of the left page. So the stories that I'll be telling is the first snowfall of the season, or not the season, I'm sorry, the first snowfall of 2025. And we didn't get that much. It was probably like 2 or 3 inches, but it was enough that needed to be shoveled. And it was also Angelo's first time playing in the snow. The next story I'm telling is about practicing using my calculator. There were just some things that I hadn't learned, and since I'm in a calculus class, I figured I better learn how to use my calculator before class starts. Then the next story was Giovanni slept over and takes up the entire king-size bed. Story. Let's see, what else am I writing here? First package to Cuba is successfully sent out by Alan and Sylvia. And then I come back and I write Duncan, and YouTube is the recipe for a great day. And that is going to complete my journaling. I'm going to put these 2 cards together, and I'm just going to make sure that everything looks good and I'm not missing anything. I'm just using a little bit of Scotch tape to keep the cards together. So I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.